Hello and welcome. Today we are going over the BMW Z8. Now, as always, we are going to see how good this car is in Gran Turismo 7. And if you go on to enjoy this video, well, leave a like and subscribe for more GT7 content. Now, the BMW Z8, a sports car that was honestly one of the best at its time. So, this car comes standard with a 4.9 liter V8 engine that pushes out 395 brake horsepower. Now this engine comes out of the BMW E39 M5 Saloon, which was one of the most powerful BMWs being produced at that time. And with it having so much power and being rather lightweight, you saw it doing 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.7 seconds, making it one of the fastest BMWs in its day. Now, when I say the vehicle was lightweight, it only came in at a total of 1,610 kgs. So, with a big V8 in the front, rear wheel drive in a lightweight shell, it makes for a very fun experience, and that's what comes across in Gran Turismo 7. Now, if you take it around any circuit you like, for us, we're just going to use K-Auto driving park. Down the main straightaway, you're going to find yourself clocking 220 kilometers per hour before you need to slam on the brakes for the first corner. So look, if we're going to compare it to a modern day car, obviously it's not going to meet the mark, it's not going to be as good. However, for a 2001 model, for an early 2000s car, that's really good performance. And when it comes to cornering, unlike a lot of vehicles that are, let's say, pre-2010, the suspension isn't really soft. The vehicle doesn't really feel boaty in any way. The brakes are really responsive, the acceleration is immediate, and once you actually start gaining speed, you just see that speedo just climbing. In its standard form, it reaches a top speed of 287 kilometers per hour, which I think is absolutely madness, considering the fact that the vehicle doesn't really feel that fast. Okay, look, the overall performance is great, but you don't have the, the punchiness that you'll find in a different vehicle or a more modern vehicle. It's there, it has a solid base, and I can see with us doing a bit of tuning, a bit of tweaking, we can unlock the full potential of that. But before we do that, the BMW Z8 is a really respectable car in its standard form, and for it having only 534 performance points, it's well suited for where it is. Now around K-Auto driving park, you'll find the vehicle setting lap times around a 1 minute 52 mark, which isn't really that bad. It is what you should expect for vehicles that came out in the early 2000s, the late 90s. That's usually the time that you'll find them doing. Now, this vehicle comes in at a price of 300,000 credits from Brand Central. Yes, this car is in Brand Central because with Brand Central, it's from cars from 2001 onwards. So this car just made it into Brand Central. So for 300,000 credits, it's a lot of money if we're gonna be honest. Or you can pick it up from the used car dealership for 258,000 credits, which is still a lot of money. Now, if you're gonna be spending that much amount of money on a classic roadster, well, we need to see, can we make it better than it already is? So now if we head on over to the tuning shop, then after spending a lot of money, because we actually have quite a decent amount of parts that we can slap onto this vehicle, well, we're gonna be left with 671 brake horsepower and a vehicle that weighs 1,191 kgs. Now, that makes the vehicle extremely lightweight, and with over 600 brake horsepower, almost 700 brake horsepower, it should make it a very lively experience. Now, something that I should mention is the fact that we don't even have the ability to slap on a turbo or a supercharger. Yes, this V8 is still naturally aspirated, which means we should have power at every single point on the rev range, which should make the vehicle really good. Now when it comes to the aero parts there in GT Auto, well, we don't have a large variety. We have one front splitter, one side skirt, and we have one option for the rear wing, which is the custom wing, which is just however you want to do it. So after we just slap on a livery and we take it back out onto circuit, we need to see how good this vehicle really is. So first impressions, once we get on the power, we can feel there's an immediate difference, night and day difference some people would say. But the vehicle is quick to step the rear end out, which was something that I would have thought would happen in its standard form, but surprisingly no. However, this time, with us being able to travel over 270 kilometers per hour down the main straightaway before we need to slam on the brakes, and I thought, okay, the rear end is going to want to step out a lot, I'm going to have to really fight it to just rein it in, keep it under control, but that just wasn't the case. The vehicle takes high-speed corners quite flat, to be honest with you, and it doesn't even produce that much downforce. It's 100 downforce in the front and 220 in the rear, if I'm not mistaken. And that isn't really like, oh my word, this is insane downforce. So for it to actually just keep the car planted and give it a solid ride, well, I knew, okay, with a good tune, you can make this a very competitive vehicle. Now, around Kyoto Driving Park, the fastest lap time I was able to set was a 1 minute 33 second lap, which is honestly really good. This is modern day sports car territory, so it's a really good option if you want to do some custom races or use it in multiplayer, because if you want to use it in other races, however, that is until you need to use it in events where there's fuel consumption. Now, around the WTC 700, this vehicle is able to do 2 laps before you need to refuel, and it says lap times around the 4 minute 7 second mark on the first initial lap, which isn't really the best considering how bad the fuel efficiency is. Now you will complete that first lap with the vehicle being on fuel map level 6 with 66% of fuel remaining, which means it used 44% of fuel within the first lap. So as I said, 2 laps, that's 88% of fuel, which means you have to go in and refuel after your second lap, and frankly that's not gonna cut it and you aren't gonna have really good success with that event. However, you could really detune it or limit your customization performance wise and see if it's eligible for the WTC 600 around Tokyo Expressway. Now, the BMW Z8, pure honesty, when the vehicle is fully upgraded on racing softs, max downforce, max power, how does it feel? It's really good. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It has the right amount of slippage, it has the right amount of acceleration to a point where it's not, as you get on the power, the car's trying to spin you in a circle. It just wants to go fast, and that's what I like about the BMW Z8. It's a very simple car, it's easy to understand, and it's just a joy to drive. However, with it being at a price tag of 300,000 credits standard and the amount of money you still have to put in it, there are a lot of cheaper vehicles that will give you the same feeling or even better. So with all this being said, don't forget, leave a like and subscribe for more Gran Turismo 7 content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.